It's probably the most disappointed I ever felt as a Forest player, because I felt that that was our time. That was the time where it was right, that we should have got promoted. When they scored the 4th goal and the 5th goal, I was thinking, this is impossible. Like, there's no way, because this is our time. This is it. This is for us, because this has been our season.
They're getting on their feet to wave goodbye to Derby fans who are already leaving the ground. 4-2 Forest lead. Forward by Tudgay, looking for Earnshaw. Mistake. Earnshaw in. Earnshaw buries it. Forest have hit 5 against Derby. Forest 5, Derby 2.
I was at Derby. It was a disappointing time, because it wasn't about football. It was a lot of other things off the field. So I was dying to get away from there. So for me, it was, I heard of Forest's interest probably 3 or 4 months before. I didn't think too much of it, and then they put a bid in and wanted to sign me. Colin Caldwood was there at the time. He was the manager, so he wanted to sign me, and I was like, yeah, I think that's the right place, because I knew of Forest's history as a club. I always enjoyed watching Forest when I was young, watching football. So all of those things put together, including it was the right time. I think it was the right time, the right place, and for me to elevate my career as well. I think it was the right timing and the right place. I think the most important thing is when you're at a new football club, and especially because I was at Derby, the big rivalry, I think it was important for me to put my foot in the door of Nottingham Forest and introduce myself as, you know, I am Robbie Earnshaw, coming into Nottingham Forest to play, and this is what I'm about. I think that was the key thing, and in that game, I think that was where everybody kind of was like, okay, this is the start.
Brecken, header from Demerit, only as far as Musi. Finding Earnshaw, could be a chance for Forest, and it's there! Earnshaw makes it Forest 2, Watford 1. And the Watford defence caught static. It is Earnshaw. Oh, and it's a cracking goal! Beautifully struck. Robert Earnshaw continues his Forest hot streak, and the championship side are ahead.
Obviously that season wasn't the best on the pitch. It resulted in Colin Caldwood, the man who brought you to Forest, leaving, Billy Davies, the man who took you to Derby, coming in. How did you handle that whole situation?
It was funny. It was a little bit difficult at the time, because I had Billy Davies at Derby, and it was a difficult time, and it was because I just came into the club and started to make a name for myself, started scoring goals, and there was always, okay, how's he gonna get on with Billy Davies? How are things gonna pan out? And is Billy gonna want to get rid of him and want to get rid of a few other players that are already here? No one kind of knew, but within probably a day or so, I remember just Billy's first day came in. I bumped into him. How are you? Good. But I actually always got on with Billy, off the field, everything. I actually got on very well. Just I think at Derby and the situation that happened there was a totally different case, and it was just something that, it was just at that time, So when he came into Forest, he had a different mentality. He had a different, direction. He wanted to adopt what was here already and make that better. And that's what he told me, and that's what we discussed, and then from there it was great. We were just all hoping we could firstly impress the new manager, and on the other hand is we wanted to do well against Man City. What a game, ultimate game for us to play in. So we go in, I remember we're in the dressing room and we're walking in, and everything is like super brand new, lights everywhere, great facilities, brilliant facilities, and we're just enjoying the moment. And it was just like, okay, this is FA Cup, this is when you go to a huge team and enjoy the occasion. And that's what it was. What we didn't predict was how the standard we were going to play at on that day. I don't think anybody could have predicted that. So when we go 1-0 up, I'm thinking, oh, okay, confidence. And then we go 2-0 up, and then we were just thinking, okay, I think we got this. I don't think they've got enough to beat us, because it was just one of those days where it's an upset. It's one of those days that you're gonna upset the big team, and that's what it was. And as I think the second goal went in, that's when we believed. That's when we were like, okay, we're gonna win this. And for me to score, I just wanted to score, because an occasion like that, great stadium, Man City, I just wanted to put the ball in the back of the net, which I did, and I was happy about. And I think it gave us more confidence. It just gave the whole team just a whole new belief. And I think results like that, and timing of Billy coming in, coincidentally, it just gave everybody a new level to play at. I think we just believed even more, and we just thought, okay, I think we can really do things here. This is the beginning of this new team. Pre-season was the preparation, because Billy was all about the details. What do you do? When do you do it? Everything. And it was all about the players making a commitment to the team and to the club that we're going to give the very best that we possibly can. No excuses. And I think that was the key thing that we started that pre-season with, and the mentality that we started that pre-season with, because from then on, we were always on a process of getting better. It wasn't a case of, okay, we're going to do a good pre-season and then get into the season and we have a few good results and then that's it, kind of thing. That's how we're going to play. It was never like that. It was always, there's something to work on. And I think that was a key thing that made us play well, is we always felt that, okay, we've done well this week. What can we be better at? How can we go up to the next level? And just during that season, we just got better and better and better.
Nice football again. Blackstock has made a great run. Blackstock, here's a chance, and he's scored! Dexter Blackstock just about does enough to help him past Steve Harper. Here is Shorey heading away up towards halfway. Anderson trying to win it, and then a short back pass, and Earnshaw is almost through. He's just got Brown to beat towards the edge of the box. Earnshaw! Oh, a superb hat-trick! Because Wade Brown backed off him, and Earnshaw took it into the penalty area and finished into the top corner. Here's Gunter finding Majewski, finding Musi into the near the edge of the penalty area. Gunter for Musi, now for Cohen on his left foot, and counts it in the corner. What a goal again! Forest are going crazy in the West Midlands on a snowy night. Rangers lose it. And then Anderson breaks away from Kwasi through midfield. It's 3 against 2. Anderson right-hand side for Earnshaw, who's clean through and buries it. Forest 2-0 ahead. 20 minutes played. Earnshaw has a double.
Everything football-wise was just flowing. So when we came to probably 6 or 7 games to go before the Blackpool game, we just felt that okay, we're gonna go for automatic. If we don't make automatic, playoffs, but we're confident in whoever we face, we can beat. What we didn't predict is the run and the crazy run and the ability that Blackpool were going on, because they went unnoticed. I think they went like 10 games without a loss or something like this. A crazy run that shot them right into the playoffs. They fell into the playoffs in the last couple of games, and then facing us. And it was difficult because they had a horrible pitch. The worst pitch in the league at the time, and it was disgusting to play on. But they had Charlie Adam playing, who was running everything for them, and he was a very good player, and he just made them tick. And Holloway was there, and the way Holloway was, and speaking to some of their players as well, the way Holloway set them up was, you keep passing the ball, you keep playing, because football will always prevail. It doesn't matter who you're playing against, how big they are, strong, fast, whatever. No one's quicker than the ball. And the way they set up made it difficult for us, because they almost were attacking with 5 at times. And we were thinking, where are these people coming from? Because of the way they set up. And that was the key things. They were all in. So when we came to the playoff games and they're playing against us, we were very structured, but hard-working team, but with good players, with good skills, where they were like gung-ho. They were like, we're going to attack with 5. If you score 3, we're going to score 4. And, that's the way we're going to play.
Ian Evatt trying to look the ball player, taking his time, totally composed, and then just give the ball back to Forest.
Here's Majewski with a good ball, and the shot comes in from Chris Cohen. A volley from Cohen from the corner of the penalty area, which flies into the net. Taylor Fletcher lays it off for Seamus Coleman. Coleman onto his left foot, lining up a shot here, and he's got away from Anderson, and now he turns it to Ian Evatt, who's got space inside the box. It's rolled across the 6-yard box, and it's scuffed in by Keith Southern. Blackpool's Charlie Adam has a penalty kick to put Blackpool in front in the first leg of the playoff semi-final. Charlie Adam runs up, left-footed, sends Lee Camp the wrong way, rolls it low into the corner, and having been in front, Forest are behind.
Looking at the game that we got knocked out by Blackpool, the second game, I think from the first game we were confident, we were good. We thought, I scored the first goal in the first game. I scored the first goal in the game, and then you just felt that, okay, this is it. And then they come back. Even then, second half, I got my second goal. That's when you felt, okay, just seal it up now. But they just kept attacking and attacking. It's probably the most disappointed I ever felt as a Forest player, because I felt that was our time. That was the time where it was right, that we should have got promoted, and we were playing at the highest level. We were already playing some Premier League football in the Championship, and that's the most disappointed I remember. Just when they scored the 4th goal, I was thinking, this is impossible. Like, there's no way, because this is our time. This is it. This is for us, because this has been our season, and there's no way we can have an upset like this. I had no energy when I left the field, just zero energy, because it was just all sucked. I couldn't believe it.
take from the right-hand side, right-footed, out-swinging, back post, header comes in! Luke Chambers has scored for Forest in the second minute against Derby County! Ramsey backwards for Gunter. Gunter chips it forward into the penalty area. Earnshaw takes it in his stride, turns, he's near the byline. Still looking to get the crossover, Earnshaw does so now. Header, Tudgay off the underside of the bar and it came out. Has it gone in? Yes! The assistant referee gives the goal! Here's Tyson down the left-hand side. He's running at them again and he's beaten Sifka for pace and he crosses and it's headed in by Tudgay again! Tudgay's got a second! Forest have got a third! Here's Cohen finding Tyson again, who turns away from Leacock and keeps it in play, and he's got three ahead of him again to his right, and he crosses, and Earnshaw pokes it in from 6 yards out. It's 4 for Forest. They're getting on their feet to wave goodbye to Derby fans who are already leaving the ground. 4-2 Forest lead, forward by Tudgay, looking for Earnshaw, mistake, Earnshaw in, Earnshaw buries it! Forest have hit 5 against Derby! Forest 5, Derby 2!
No one knew that we were going to end up with a big result like that. And I think the icing on the cake was, I think me scoring in the last minute and making it 5-2. So it was almost we sent them packing, right at the end. Down the A52, we win 5-2, so it was a great moment because having not much joy against Derby for years and years, I think was difficult for the fans, because they needed something really, really big to cheer, and we gave them that with a 5-2. So we come up against Swansea, very good Swansea team, free-flowing football, and great to watch. I think they had a man sent off in the first game. We draw 0-0, which was almost everybody felt disappointed because I think they went down to 10 men after a few minutes, and we thought, oh, what a great advantage. But we couldn't create anything for some reason. I think they just shut up shop and dropped really deep and said, okay, we're going to counter-attack you. We weren't firing. We had a few half chances, but we just nothing clear. So we're disappointed with that because we knew going into Swansea it was going to be difficult because then they had back to 11 men and they were most confident at home. They play the best football when they play at home. But even then, we knew we can compete. And the funny thing about the first leg to the second leg was, I think it was about 4 or 5 different changes to the lineup, and that almost surprised our own team more than them. Because going into that game, we were thinking, okay, second game, we should be good. We're still confident, but there was 4 or 5 changes to the lineup, so we're thinking, what's going on? So before kickoff, we just think, oh, what's going on? So we go into the game, and we actually created a few chances, and we probably should have gone ahead.
And now Tyson's herring after this, and he's away from Leon Britton. Tyson gets to the ball first, back gets Wrangle. Tyson's at the edge of the penalty area and squares it. Here's McGoldrick, back post, he's hit the crossbar! From 12 yards out, David McGoldrick hits it off the top of the crossbar and it goes away to safety. Dobby takes the corner and gives it to Sinclair, and he gives it back to the Scotsman, and now infield towards Leon Britton, 25 yards out after the short corner. Britton now edge of the penalty area, twists away from Tudgay, left foot short, he's in! Swansea in front!
Far too many mistakes so far in the first half. One of them a little bit of...
Oh, here's Dobby linking up with Dyer and running towards the top of the D, and away from Chambers! 2-0! Shoots low into the bottom corner. So easy, so simple. And the second goal has come for Swansea very quickly after the first. And it is 2-0 to Swansea City. Lewis McGugan, is he the man for the moment? 13 minutes into the second half, McGugan and Cohen stand over it. McGugan drives it. Oh, he's hit the crossbar. A fabulous effort from Lewis McGugan. And completely miskicked. And they cleared a halfway, but that's a great ball. Inside right channel. And Rob Earnshaw has Forest back in it. And it's the Forest fans' turn to cheer. There are 4 minutes of stoppage time. 90-minute mark, 4 minutes to go. 1 or 2 sharp intakes of breath from the Swansea fans, who realise they're 4 minutes from Wembley, but Forest still have 4 minutes to try and prise them open. McGugan laying it off for Earnshaw. Earnshaw has hit the post! Lovely layoff from McGugan, and Earnshaw drags it across the face of goal and hits the base of the far post. Swansea so close to Wembley, Forest so close to an equaliser. Cohen's corner, De Vries punches, McGugan slips as he volleys. Camp is out of his goal. Pratley drives forward. Pratley to halfway, shoots the goal and finds the empty net. And Swansea are going to Wembley.
My point of view was, I want to stay. I don't want to leave. And the club, they took the time, and I didn't understand it. I didn't understand why. For me, it was, what's the holdup? Let's start negotiations. My contract is up in a few months. That leaves the door open for me to leave. I don't know what's going to happen after that. And it was, I left it because I was confident that, okay, I will make the decision when the time's right, whether it's now or at the end of the season. And in the end, they just said, we'll discuss it at the end of the season. So, and it just went on, and I just felt that it wasn't, they weren't pushing enough to keep me until it was too late. And that was the key thing. I think for me, I don't think there was ever a point where I ever thought to myself, oh, I want to leave Nottingham Forest. I never wanted to leave. And that was always the case. Even when I did leave, it was always, but I don't want to leave. But it's happened that way, and it's been made that way, and I have to, kind of thing. And I was left with no kind of choice, really. It's funny because even after the end of the season, that I think McLaren came in, and as he came in, he wanted to speak to me. This is before I actually signed with I think going back to Cardiff then. So this is before, and I think a couple of weeks before I signed for Cardiff, and I actually met up with him. We talked tactics, we spoke about football, a little bit about life and what's happening. And so we had a good chat, and even then I thought, okay, I'd like to play for McLaren. I think it'd be good, and I still want to stay. I still want to be at this football club, so I don't want to sign something with somebody else if I don't have to. I don't want to rush it, so I'll delay everything else just so I could see how this is going to pan out with Forest. Because that's where I want to stay, really. And in the end, from what we talked about to what happened with the negotiations and everything, it was almost completely different. So I felt that, listen, it's I have to make a decision now. It's coming towards the end of the off season now, and what you said was not what's happening in your negotiations and what you're saying, so it just didn't happen. In the end, I went and signed for Cardiff because I just felt that that was also the best step forward at that time, which was difficult. It was difficult to leave because I always felt that Yeah, I probably will sign for Forest. You know, it was always in the back of my mind, but it just never happened. For me, at Forest is always fun. It's always fun. The thing I think that I remember most is all the fun that we used to have, like on the bus. You know, some of the banter. You know, I think some of the celebrations that I came up with were, I think, made on the bus. You know, things like the juggling one. I think that came up. Like I think we were, because we always used to go to the hotel for a pre-match meal about 11 o'clock in the morning. We eat about 11:15, something like this. And then on the way back, it was always the jokes flying around. And I think one day, I don't know why, for some reason, I was like messing around juggling or something. And then that's where the juggling thing came on. This was on the bus, and I'm going like this with like, uh, you know, just messing around on the bus. And then it was like, okay, that's the celebration today. The El Matador, I think that came, you know, from the banter. You know, throwing the apple up while juggling and biting it, and it's imaginary apple and all of this. Like, I think those are the things that I remember most is all the fun that we used to have, and everybody's just getting on to each other and you know, laughing and joking, but all within, we knew that on the field, that was the fun off the field, and then on the field we were gonna put it in. You know, we were always gonna be ready. We were always gonna enjoy ourselves. I think those things I remember most. Good times.